Hey guys, today we're going to replace the Stemco hubcap assembly on the Tradition. As you can see, the rubber plugs are a little pink and dry rotted and crumbly. The window is hazed over. I can't even see the oil level in it. So before we head out, obviously I need to make sure that I can see the oil level so we don't have a catastrophic failure. This is Stemco hubcap assembly, part numbers 3434024. So when you get this whole assembly, it comes assembled. New rubber plug, clean clear window. This one has the drain plug in it and the gasket. Alright, first you need to pop off your hubcap assembly, or your beauty ring, whatever you want to call it. And then I want to degrease all this and clean it up. So all I'm using is the ZEP 505 industrial degreaser. So you're going to try not to let it run down on your wheel if possible. Alright, it's all degreased. Now we need to remove the drain plug, and it's a 5/16 plug. Something I forgot to mention in the beginning, you probably want to make sure your plug's down, otherwise it's not going to drain out. I made a little aluminum foil tape type trough so it can drain down into my drip pan, and we'll see if I can get this loosened up in the first shot. Not cooperating. As you can see, the oil is not milky or any crap like that, so pretty good. It's a little darker, but and I'm not going to suck everything out of it. If you wanted to, you could, suck the remaining out with a suction or something like that. But I'm just replacing the hubcap. I'm not worried about most of the oil drain out anyway. All right, next, after that's drained up, there's 6 1/2-inch bolts around the hub. You gotta remove those. They shouldn't be torqued very much. When I did the other side, they weren't even probably barely just hand tight. Just like that. They're not tight at all. I have to check the torque specs. I just used my German torque Gudentight, but not overly tight. So as you can see, they're pretty loose. I mean, the gasket does the work as long as it's snugged up. Alright, 6 bolts are out. If it doesn't come off, go ahead and tap it. Don't put something in there and pry it off, because you risk scoring the back side and potentially having a leak by putting a groove in there. So you're gonna have a little residual run out. And there you go. The gasket's still on there, so we'll have to pull the gasket off in the next step. Alright, gaskets, go easy on it, and it might peel off instead of coming off in different sections. And this one's not, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of scraping. Alright, be very careful when scraping off old gasket material so you don't score the metal that it's supposed to seal. And you want to make sure you're going to cover your bearing up just to make sure you don't get any of this gasket material up inside there. Alright, it's all cleaned up, no gasket materials left over. You want to make sure that you check your bearing, make sure that there's no debris or anything that got in there while you were cleaning that off. If there is, blow it out or pick it out. So the way I've always done it, use a little bit of that clean oil, lube up the gasket, do it with O-ring or whatever as well. Different strokes for different folks. Some people don't do it, some people do. To line up the holes and stick it on. Before you put the bolts in, I just want to clean them up, make sure there's no crap on the threads, get the heads all cleaned up. So I just use the same degreaser and a little wire brush, and then just scrub them up so they at least look somewhat decent when they go back on, instead of having a new hub and nasty bolts. All right, according to the book, ADW90 gear oil. I went and got Lucas ADW90 gear oil, trans and diff lube. Real easy to fill up. You've got two lines on your window. Oil level full is the one closest to the center. Oil level low is the one closest to the outside. So you're going to need a little patience when you fill this up, because it's going to resettle. It's got to take a little bit to work its way back into the bearing and all the fun little do things back there. Just keep adding. Takes probably about 15 minutes. Keep adding and waiting until it levels out and doesn't drop below your full line. And because it's ADW90, it takes a little while it's a little thicker than your typical motor oil or whatever, so it's heavy duty gear oil, so that's why it takes about 15 minutes or so, 10 minutes depending.
one.
So you're going to keep filling, but you want to make sure that you don't overfill this. There's a little weep hole in the plug to allow for expansion. So if you're overfilled, it's going to come through your plug and spray all around in there, and you're going to check it out and you're going to freak out. What the hell, I got a freaking another leak. But it's probably most likely because it was overfilled and it was coming out your weep hole in your plug and spraying all over probably either the inside of your your beauty ring or the inside of your hub. So very important to make sure that you do not overfill it. Alright, this is done settling. It's right at the fill line. Go ahead and insert your rubber plug gently without breaking your new window, and you're pretty much done. Replace your beauty ring. Usually after your first stop, first time it gets heated up, first few hundred miles or so, pop your ring off, double check, make sure that you're not leaking anywhere, and you should be good. Alright, here's your torque specs for your hubcap bolts. You got the 6 and it even shows you the torque pattern. They're 5/16, 18 grade 5. Mine are 1/2 inch. I don't know why this doesn't match, but mine are 1/2 inch. 20 to 30 foot-pounds is what your torque spec is for those of you that want to know your torque specs. For those of you that are good enough, been doing it a while, and you know 20 to 30 pounds, there you go. The only other thing I had was I was searching for how to kind of do this, how long it would take or whatever. It was, I couldn't find really anything except for a couple blogs just saying, what they had to do or whatever. So I figured I'd do a video on it for those of you that are like me and have never done it. Easy job. Those hubs were, I think, those hubcaps were maybe $30 a piece. I don't even think it was that much. I think it was $56 for both sides with the free shipping from Amazon. It didn't take long at all. Easy task. Maybe an hour to do both sides. It took me a little longer because of the video and everything else. But hope that helps somebody if you're kind of worried about your seals leaking. If you got any questions or comments, put it down there. Again, I'm not a freaking professional. I'm a redneck that likes to tinker. We got a motor home, and I want to save us money instead of taking it to a shop and paying $150 an hour in labor.